Okay, Tom, we are live. Now
Hey,
with me, Tom Tate, who is my partner in crime of producing the webinars and the explanatory videos and everything, right, Tom?
right. And people who watch it may think it's a crime that we produced it. Hey, but the intent is to convey information in an enjoyable manner. So if they want a scientific lecture, they'll have to enroll at their local college.
Yes. And today, by the way, the discussion will be today is specifically about one review on Blogly, which I definitely want to go over this. And overall is positive, right?
Yeah. I mean, from what I saw of it, it was stellar. So,
Yeah,
uh,
but the only certain things that I want to clarify, and I think it's not exactly the reflecting the my thought, and I would just want to express my. But it's in truth, yes, it's actually pretty good, very well written review. I like the. I mean, I had a conversation with a person. His name is Austin. So, and I would love. I mean, Austin is a really great guy, and I like that. He is also passionate about writing. So he is a true writer, true blogger, and I want to now review this the whole article about the Blogly, and it does
right.
make sense, right? So is a quite a few interesting points, and I get it. There are certain things that pros and cons, and I want to just talk about and not only about pros. We're gonna talk about cons today, right?
Right. Well, I think
Okay.
that's the beauty of the way you're approaching your business is there's really nothing to be hidden. I mean, it's all out in the open with your roadmap and all the other things. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so let's start with this. So this is the Blogly review, right? Let me go up here on top. Yeah, the Blogly review, the best all-in-one writing platform with a question mark. Yes, there are some pros and cons, and I'm focusing more on cons than on pros, but we're gonna go over this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So on the very first thing, I just one thing that actually struck me that about the small development team. Well, it is true. I have a few people who work in my team, and consider to the size of Blogly and what we built, it's a small team. Consider the functionality that we built. However, we built this software for over a year and a half. It's not just like a born for out of nowhere. We just not like scratching our head, decide what to do something. It and usually, as for many software development, it came from out of frustration because I haven't seen anything out there that helps me to drive the traffic to the site, and to drive the traffic I would need to put out the content, and I tried to do that and I found this is so hard to do. There are so many moving pieces. Now if you're talking about the number here is a best of all-in-one writing platform, well, that's why the Blogly is focusing on a universal tool that helps blogger. Our focus,
Right.
primary focus, my primary focus is to help blogger, right?
Yeah. Bloggers or freelancers, anybody who is a writer.
Content creator,
Actually, and this can be used in a corporate environment too, but,
content
broadly,
creator.
blogger.
Whoever is a content creator. So one word
Yeah.
you can say content creator. Do we help content creators? I think that's the number one goal for me is to help content creator. Whether you create content for your website, whether you write for your client who has the website, whether you write for corporation that has a website and they need to bring the traffic because they need to manage the content and manage it well.
Right.
Now, the downside is, yes, there is a lots of things requires in a production of content. Starting from the research, the management of the pieces of the content. You're gonna save a lot of snippets. You're gonna save some documents. You gotta have a research docs, but beside the research doc, you have a multiple notes. You have your images. You have your documents. You have your PDFs. You have your Google Docs, and of course, the writing itself contains the multiple backups, and you also will have the detailed backups, and you want to have a multiple versions. All of this is just only covering the first part of the blogging, because The blog is a lot bigger than just simply say, oh, just have a blog. No, it's a lot more. It's just a product. It's a content that brings you traffic. It gives you, and the more traffic you have, the more money you can make, right? So
that's correct. And that's the idea, right?
That's the idea. And why businesses want to bring traffic? Because they want to sell their own services. They want to sell their software. This is the most important thing. They provide enough content that not only drives you traffic, but also it creates your brand. It tells about who you are, what you're doing, how you're doing. Give some value to the people so they come back and again and again and again.
Excellent. You know, and like he mentions, there are a couple of bugs. Hey, I've run over that.
We are in the development phase, and I don't mind. I mean, it's okay to have, I mean, we do have a few bugs. Granted, we're building software, we're making the releases of the each updates and fixes. We do it like, if not every day, we do it every other day. And you can see certain things are being fixed, being added, being improved. Every small thing we do like every other day.
And the author here didn't point it out as a negative. He's basically says, you know, it's to be expected. And, but the point is that you guys are fixing them. And so that's cool. And then the last thing that he said on the cons were, I don't know if you want to talk about that here or further on. I'm puzzled by that comment a little bit, just because, you know, if you look at something like Microsoft Office, huge number of features. I use Excel and Word and PowerPoint and Adobe Creative Suite and Blogly and all these things every day. And it doesn't distract me. I mean, the fact that I've got all this stuff, hey, I use what I need, and the rest I'm oblivious to. So it's
yeah. No, that's granted. Okay.
That was my opinion on what he said there. Again, it didn't seem like it was totally, it was not a negative.
I understand that Austin is puzzled about that. And actually, it's my fear too, that people think that's too much and they're afraid of being overwhelmed and they back off of the platform. Yes, well, I do.
So if those people are watching tonight, don't worry about that. Use what you need, and the other stuff does not interfere with you. If you just want to write, go out and gather research and build up your library, man, this is the tool. You don't have to use anything else if you don't want to.
Yeah, the one thing is this. It's always bothering me that I do have quite a bit of functionality, and I keep even adding some. Not too much right now, but I'm keeping even some, but we improve. Like, for example, we're going to add also the ability to upload the Google Docs and the PDFs and the blog URLs into assets. Is it really needed, not needed feature? Yes, I think it's a part of your research. Is not only just research doc. Research doc is only like a small, like 5-10% of what the Blogly does, maybe 5%, when I would say. But the most value coming that you manage in not only research doc, you manage all your notes, you manage your documents and the images, and you can upload your blogs, separate blogs that you can annotate. So those things are really important, I think, to produce the quality content. And I think just backing off and saying, okay, let's chop up some stuff, which is I'm fine. Sometimes saying, okay, I can reduce some functionality and maybe I don't need certain things, but like what do I don't need? And now the question comes back that yes, we do have a small team, even though it's not like one-man show. I have a few developers working with me on a full time. I have a tester who works on this as well. And me, yes, I'm spearheaded by one single man who is a single founder, me, of the application. I do not have a co-founders, and I'm sorry about that, which is a kind of a, I wish I could have, say, co-founder who works with me head by head, but so far I've just been too busy in a development, and it's kind of hard to find people. But well, it is what it is, right? Yeah. So I'm a single founder, and it's fine with me. If it's somebody upset that, I mean, somebody maybe think that it's not maybe negative that I don't have the other people. But what I can tell, for me, is what I consider the sounding board are my customers, and I'm listening them every day. Every day I have some meetings, one or sometimes multiple meetings a day, and I really like those meetings because gives me I constantly it's like a sounding board. I'm checking what the certain features are needed. If certain features, how the UX look like, maybe I can shift it and move it around and simplify certain things. Or maybe just add sometimes that whatever is needed. But to me, as a customer, is the board of directors that dictate.
That's really cool. That is a very cool concept. Oh, the other thing too that Austin points out at the very beginning here is that he did this all inside Blogly. So this entire article, research, everything else was done with Blogly. So, I mean, he did a lot of work, and I mean,
I appreciate that. This is actually, he did a lot of work. I mean, understanding it does take time to understand it is a writing application, it is a research application, it is SEO optimization. Even though about SEO, didn't get. I understand the primary thing that he leads me to, that I need to create my own WordPress plugin and focus on only WordPress synchronization, syncing to WordPress, being completely independent from other plugins, and create my own that allows me to do similar functionality like about application passwords and some SEO functionality. But I can
we'll get to that in a second here, where we can go through. And you know what? I like the way he writes.
Oh yeah, very well written.
Earlier said, well, he's not as good a writer as I
am. Of course.
But if his articles are all this well written, I'm going to go to austincarroll.com and check them out because it's very thoughtfully done.
It's thoughtfully done, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Even-handed, pros and cons. I mean, he didn't get any compensation for this. He did it because
there is no compensation. I haven't paid anything here. He did it all on his own. He actually bought even the credits so he can use the plagiarism.
He likes the credit system, as do I. But we'll get into that. So where do you want to start out?
Let's go on feature after feature. So about writing applications. So what do you think? Are we there enough on the writing about the writing application feature? Do we have enough features there? Should it be is it something that may be useless? Maybe should be cut down? And for me, is also I am also the minimalist, and I would love to cut down something if it's not needed. You tell me, what do you think? Your opinion, is something unnecessary there?
No, and I think we talked about this a little bit. If we had the ability to turn on and off the tab.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. So,
because again, you can do that in Microsoft Office and other apps. So you can hide the ribbon, you can add things to the ribbon and take them off. So you basically customize it the way you want it. I don't think there's anything in here that's not useful to somebody, but you may not want to see it. So,
yes, this is one of the things that I'm always, because I learned for the last 5 years being in this field of development of the software. So, like I said, I developed 7 fully featured apps already in the past. So and I've built a team of really dedicated people who we become friends, and we are working on a daily basis. I have the everyday meetings, and we are committed to deliver this app. Not only that, to some functionality, which seems like a lot of functionality, but this is important to the content writing. So any way you look at this, yes, it is a scene to go like I should have stayed in the niche and say, okay, we just do the syncing with the WordPress and everything else forget about. But when you think of that, how about the other things like content management? How about the saving your notes properly, having a dual screen, having the plagiarism available to you next to you. You can always open up your plagiarism report and compare side by side without going anywhere. How about the file compression, which is built in? How about the publishing, which takes only a few seconds and it's syncing with the WordPress? SEO, one thing. If I can remove, okay, before SEO, if you talk about writing application, is anything you think, and actually I will be adding one more feature, I mean one more tab there in the assets, which will be called docs. And docs will allow you to upload your own PDFs and annotate them. So if you think it's unnecessary, you tell me, and the people who are watching it, you're welcome to leave it under the YouTube after notes. You tell me, is it necessary, not necessary? If it's not necessary, I will kind of reconsider it. But I'm thinking right now, I have people who waiting for that, PDFs should be uploaded because we translate PDF, we bring it just like a content, and you will be able to annotate it, and we'll save these notes easily and fast visible to you for any document that you want.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, and he definitely likes the writing aspect of it, as do I. I mean, it's very logical, it's very clean, it's easy to move around.
Yeah, some people told me about that I should have been more modern and create the editor, not like here. This is a classic editor which you see on the top, right?
Right, right.
But people may say sometimes I should be more modern, create like really modern, slick, like you click and it shows up. And well, it may be okay for some people because this one everybody understands. No doubt, there is everybody understand the classic editor. Now, when you hide it,
learning curve.
Yeah, when you hide it and then become super slick, try to be super slick, then I might pay consequences. People may feel like it's not for them and may feel like it's too overwhelming. So it's kind of, I always trying to find the balance where it will become overwhelming, where it will not. So in this case, I feel like I stick with the classic editor, which gives a really clear view layout of what you have, and you're the one who decide what you need to use. It's right in front of you. Everything else we hide. So this was approach here as much as possible. So when you go directly into starting writing blogs, you only see the editor on top, and this is it. There is nothing else there. You can involve your assets just by simply clicking on the left. But I think this
likes that. So it's nice when you're in a creative flow and aren't relying on research to write.
Yeah, Grammarly integrations. Yes, we integrate fully integrated, but it's not like it's a real. I mean, it's a integration which come naturally because it's we just build our app on a front end. It's right in the browser. So yeah, of course the browser is there. As long as the browser is on say Chrome, you could see instantly you'll pick up the browser extension of the Grammarly, and it works really well. And by the way, there are some other extensions.
Annoying.
Huh? Say it again.
I said it works annoyingly well.
Yeah, it's annoyingly well. Yeah, the research docs. So as far as research docs, what do we get? We get, yes, we are not fully focused on research as like Phrase, for example. Phrase does, this is all they do. Okay, if somebody does the research, okay, you could pay separately to Phrase or somebody else or Market Muse, but again, then you're gonna miss out on other features. You're gonna buy separately other apps. Like if you have a writing app, you could have a separate writing app like Ulysses. Okay, what Ulysses does? Does the Ulysses publish you on a WordPress? No. Does Ulysses help you to manage the content just like we do? No, it doesn't do the same way. It's totally different. So you can find like same way for SEO. So are we say href or aref? I don't know. So I've heard a different expression. Aref or are we SEMrush? No, we're not. So if you go now and try to find a software for SEO, yeah, you might as well pay like $100 a month just for SEO. You can be lucky if you get like some for $40 a month and get the SEO. But we're not an SEO researcher. We're not a research SEO company. We are just helping to our primary target to help the writer and the content creator to deliver the content efficiently and productively. So we integrate with other software for that, like plagiarism. We bring the plagiarism. We don't want to go in the plagiarism field. The same way I feel about SEO. I don't want to be the SEO, SEO like software. We're not an SEO software. We provide the optimization part. You can do your own SEO keyword research. You will bring your keywords that you find. We optimize your content. We help you to optimize the content. This is it. I don't know anything else that can what I can do, because now if I go into SEO stuff and try now to create a plugin which works and does this work in a WordPress, it's gonna be too much then, and we don't do the SEO like a full scale SEO. If somebody need to do the SEO research, do the research there. The other plugins that work for SEO with the WordPress, they spend their whole team efforts to build the SEO plugin. Yoast SEO plugin used by 10 million plus people. I cannot compete with them? But
why do you want to?
I don't want to. Yeah, but what I can do, I can spend the quick integration with them, and which we did. We figure out the way how we can integrate with Yoast SEO and Rank Math, two popular plugins. You can keep your plugin there, but we will send the metadata and SEO title to the plugin and the keywords too. So what else it's needed? There is nothing. I don't want to get in and competing with the Yoast SEO. Sure. That's not my task, right?
Right.
But
and the research functionality, if you're doing pharmaceutical development research or scientific research, maybe you want a different tool. But if you're writing, even like I write for some fairly heavy duty industrial customers, this is perfect for it. I mean, the research tools, and I don't use it to create a research document. I use it to document my article. And so it's great. That and the plugin. I mean, I use the plugin more.
You mean extension? Extension. Yeah, because research docs is not an extension. Have nothing to do with extension. Extension is for notes. So if you use extension, you don't have to use just a research doc. Use the extension for taking the snippets of content anywhere on the sites.
Right. Works great. And the reason I like it is because it took my old method of creating a Word document and cutting and pasting and doing stuff and just made it so slick and easy that I love it.
All right. Now this one, I could agree here. It is some annoying setup process with SEO for the plugin. Well, the only one thing I can say in the defense of the Blogely, well, this is annoying process only once for WordPress site connection. You do it once, it takes about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to set up. No more than that. It's actually you go by steps and you get set up for SEO plugin like Yoast SEO or Rank Math. We will add a couple more plugins in the future, but right now we think like we're covering most of the market.
Sure.
So, and if it happened to be 15 minutes of work, okay, we feel like there is no need for us to create our own separate plugin and try to compete with Yoast, which has like a huge team of people working on it. Let them do it. Let them do their job. We just help them we integrate with them, and then we can just send you SEO title, meta description, and the keywords to Rank Math plugin or Yoast SEO. That's beyond that. I don't think that we will need the plugin to do the same thing that somebody else spend their time and spend their life of working on that.
Right. So so it's a one-time setup and you're done.
Yeah, one-time setup and you're done for the WordPress. Now, just you need to be carefully go through the steps really carefully. There are a number of steps. You need to make sure that you go through each one. You install some extra plugins. Yes, you need to be installed like a couple extra plugins that help you to manage that. But other than that, this is it. After it's done, you never worry about that anymore. Like I connected the Blogly like about 6 months ago or more than since since like February I connected the Blogly, I don't reconnect it anymore. So it's been staying connected and it's been working with the plugin since. So I don't feel like it's needed to waste my energy in writing a separate plugins just to do this, eliminate the 15-20 minutes of annoying process of setup. Well, it's not really annoying. You just do it once. It's not, you don't do it all the time.
Right. Right. Now he talks about the calendar. He likes
Calendar,
the calendar.
yeah, we got the
function.
good marks. We have a good marks for calendar.
Yeah. And I will admit to this. I don't use the calendar.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have
I
to.
don't have to. And it doesn't bother me that it's there. I mean, I do look at it. It's cool, but I just focus on writing. I know when I usually write for somebody else. So it's not like I'm publishing it, but it is a very neat way to see what you've got. And now you're coming up on one of my favorite topics there.
Okay. Yeah, we come into plagiarism reports.
Yep. Oh, I ran a check the other night for, actually I was writing stuff for some of the help things. I got a 0.
A 0. That's good. That's good. And by the way, this is we specifically spend time and effort to integrate with the outside third-party provider. And of course, we're not gonna recreate the wheel of plagiarism scanning, and we don't want to go into this route. But we brought some decent provider of the plagiarism, which is I consider CopyLeaks is actually a really good provider. And we integrate in such way that once you get the report, you see it side by side directly with your article, so you can compare, find the problems, right?
Yeah, and he makes 2 really good points here in the last 2 paragraphs. It is an add-on. Blogly, with Blogly, you can pay as you go with the credits.
Yeah.
And you also get the certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
I like this. I never even thought about this. If you ever plan to exit your website, this is excellent due diligence to offer potential buyers. So you're picking up your WordPress site with all its content. You want to sell it to somebody. They want to make sure that you haven't gone out and plagiarized.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you have it. Very cool.
Now WordPress Sync, of course, you got the WordPress Sync. It's through one-click publishing. Yes, it is a required. I mean, it's a core feature of Blogly.
Right.
We want to make sure the publishing is fast. So, and republishing, because a lot of cases when you publish something, then you need to correct here and tweak something here, edit something, and every time I go to WordPress, I spend time, and I spend some serious time sometimes, and that's what's bugging me. If I just want to fix one word or say one statement, add one link, do I have to go on the WordPress in Blogly? You don't. So one good part is just that with a click of the submit, you just go in the publish and click submit. Once the blog post is published, all you need to do any correction, just to simply correct what you need to correct. Go to publish, click on publish, go to the third tab and click submit. That's it. So it will take a few seconds and the blog post will be updated. We will not create a new one. We will republish into the same blog post, which is great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It just all of a sudden it's magically right or updated. So
now, if I tell you one thing, so just for that feature alone, just the syncing and publish, because you need to keep editing your post to get the perfectly right, or maybe updating, maybe improving it. So just for that feature alone, just disregard all other features. You have the content which syncs to the WordPress. I mean, this feature alone deserves the credit. It deserves the attention that it can stand by itself to be a primary feature of Blogly, which saves you tremendous time. And actually what Austin writing, so he's saying that yes, I should concentrate on this Blogly feature of syncing with WordPress. He recognizing the value of syncing with the WordPress. And actually that's his primary thought. Blogly should be the WordPress syncing app. And that's all it's all about. However, I think slightly different, because I don't I agree with the WordPress is a core feature and we'll do whatever it takes. And we may develop in the future, we'll develop our own plugin that will help quickly to sync and help quickly to connect to WordPress. So that helps, right?
Right.
But
That can
also,
be on the roadmap, but there are other
it
things.
is in our
that
roadmap,
look
yes.
right, yeah.
And also we have the ability, once we integrate our own plugin, we will also develop the plugin in such a way that you can use it for side notes. Basically, side notes next to your blog content will be side notes that you control. So that's different. So that gives you ability of monetization, advertising, it gives you ability of references, annotations next to your blogs in article itself. So this is the only way I'm considering the plugin that will brings the additional value to Blogly, because we will allow monetization in the future.
Talks about the portfolios, and the portfolios to me are extremely interesting, extremely useful. They are a mini website if you use it that way. But where I think the most power comes is for me as a writer. When I am asked to submit my content or samples, let's say I'm bidding for a project and the client wants to see my work, I send them this link to the portfolio. I don't have to send them documents. They don't have to download or open anything. They click the link and they can see everything in a very nice, neat, clean format. And you know what? Your competitors for that job are not likely to have it until everybody has Blogly, and then, something will change.
Yeah. Now also listen, what's the values of the portfolio? Okay, I get it. If somebody doesn't know what the let's say because I know I do have my final goals, I do have my strategy where I think the Blogly should be. Do I take a lot on my chest? Yes, I understand that, but this is what I want. And yes, it is a downside of being a one-man running show, because I do not have a VC to report, and I do not have any VCs at least at this time. Right. I'm not sure if I want to go to VCs and beg for money, even though maybe possibly will come to that. If I want to expand it rapidly, I would need to influx of some more money of VCs, and I hire the team probably 10 times size that I have, and I can pump out the certain features and much faster. And also I will focus on the campaigns, because one of the things that was brought up, we have a ghost town and a marketplace. Yeah, of course, because marketplace, it just need to be campaigned, need to be explained. We gotta do this webinars, and I'm gonna run the campaign, sending the people an invitation to join the Blogly as a freelancer and writing the content. I'm gonna create some samples of the contents and run the promotions on that as well.
I have a great article to submit. It's about bacon.
Yeah, however, content portfolios play a huge role in the future when we will have a marketplace, and marketplace meant to be for two sides of the people. I mean, two different target markets. My target market, of course, the bloggers and the content producers are the primary focus target market. Yes, I'm developing the app for them. However, don't forget, they do have a clients. So their clients need to have something to control, right. Something that they what they want for the content, because there is no such thing that there is such thing that one man running show, right? But I mean, for the website, you only have one yourself. You creating your site, you want to bring traffic, you write yourself, you develop yourself, you do the research yourself, you publish it yourself. But what if you got now 2-3 people who you work with, or you hire a freelancer because eventually you get tired of writing yourself, but you want to continue now pushing your website, and bringing the traffic requires more content, good original content that you keep writing it. So for that you need to hire freelancers. I mean, how many people can admit, I just do everything by myself? Okay, if you do everything by yourself, eventually you get tired. Yes. Eventually you get overwhelmed with the amount of work, because you cannot do everything unless you stay let's say a few blogs per month, and this is for the rest of your life, this is all you do, and that's it. But
Right.
what if you need hire a freelancer, somebody who write for you the content? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to Upwork? Are you going to Fiverr? Or you find in yourself somebody who can write for you? So when you
Right.
do that, you need to have some means of communication, not just simply sending a WordPress, just sending the Google Doc or Microsoft Word file. You get the work file. You and me know beyond the after work file, if you got the even the content right, there is a huge amount of work involved. You need to format it, external links, images, you need to optimize it, you need to publish it and make sure it's all formatted correctly. This
Right.
is all takes time, huge amount of time. No matter what, tell me if I'm wrong. It's a huge amount of time.
No, it is. And then when the client gets it, they have to download the thing to look at it.
unless you don't care about it. If you don't care about, you get your content, just shovel it and push it to the WordPress, and here it is. I don't care what is there. There's the content. Now it's plugged in there without any kind of like enhancement, like no tables, no data, no extra external links, no images, or you just put like stock image there and you're done. No,
Right.
it doesn't work this way. And today you compete on the market, you gotta come up with a really good content. Really good content involved a lot, some screenshots, some images, some explanation, some external linking. The formatting must be right. And you know who is the person who I can refer? Like, look at his content, how he writes. You know the guy named Backlinko?
Doesn't ring a bell, but that.
All right, I can
I'm
tell
with a
you like
sheltered
few
life.
words about this guy. So this guy writes probably the best, not only content by itself, the best formatted content I ever seen anybody writes. You look at his blog, you look at his details, how he does how he treats the images, how do they look like? Are they do they have a border? The border specific thickness, size, and color. You look at his the attention to details. He puts a lot of images, explanation, the pointing out arrows, and when he writes about something, you see that it's so. He spends a lot of time on this. He spends on an article. He writes an article which probably like between 5 to 10,000 word article.
Oh, wow.
He puts out the content, a pillar content that is brings the traffic. This is what brings the traffic. Really great content that you spend enough time to make it stand out, to make it really good. And we provide this tool. Now, for you is just if you take a content from your say writer, you find the freelance. Let's say you buy the content on a Fiverr. You bought the content. So what you can do with it now? If you take just this content, even though it's original, let's say you scan it, you got okay, report is fine. It's rated nicely. There is no stolen content. Okay, is this a content you want to publish on your WordPress? I can tell. Think twice because it's you plugging in the content which has no motions, have no any kind of enhancement and any kind of data that actually drives the people to read it. Forget about this. Is like you wasting your efforts and time and money for nothing. It's gonna be wasted. So you need to create really good content. Watch the Backlinko how he does it and read carefully through his blog. You see the details he puts out, all the little formatting, how it's laid out, he has tons of images. In each image he has the arrows and it's really good. You think about besides that he writes well. So he writes well, that's one thing. But now let's say if I remove this and if I take his content and now I put it just a text format and I send to someone, good luck. You're gonna spend hours and hours to format it and really make it nice.
Right.
And you're not gonna even achieve what he has because he has tremendous value in his content. So just learn how he does and try to do it with Blogly and make your content stand out, which people read it and they enjoy it. They see your little images which are not smooshy images. You want images that are readable when you can see this is a great quality image. Spend
Right.
time on this, and even like this. Austin put a lot of time, a lot of effort,
Yep.
but I can see the image requires a little bit of better quality. So you can see there's a little bit of smooshed out. So this is maybe it can be done better. So but this is where you need to spend time of getting it just right. It does take time, no matter what. And there is not we only provide tools, but this is still it helps you to do your content better. It helps you to do the formatting and everything, but we're not taking away it. We're not gonna be like automatically. You just throw the content, it's just done by itself. There is no such thing. You have to put your work in it, right?
Right. Well, let's move on here so people can see the rest of the article. We talk about the roadmap there.
Yeah, let's talk about roadmap. Okay. So I understand that there are some features there because we do lots of features. Okay, this is a research app, it's a writing app, it's a content management, snippets, the note management, the images, we have the conversion compression mechanism, we have also the syncing, we have SEO, we have also the multi-integration in the future. Like when you not only publish to WordPress, you'll be able to publish in a multiple, like in the Medium automatically. You want to publish it on a LinkedIn? Yes, you can. So the same blog post could be published in multiple places. So those things are important, and we will also add it. But there are integrations. I never seen anybody say, "Oh, you got too much of the integrations. Let's reduce it," because it's overwhelming how many integrations you have. To me, it's like, okay, the more integrations, the better. The more the better. There is no such thing that it's too much of the integration. I think the more integrations, the better. The more expanded, you have more flexibility.
Well, and it opens it up to a broader audience. As a user, you may only use one or two integrations, but you may have some rather unique integrations you want, and eventually it could be there. So,
for example, we have AI summary. So is the summary brings the like creating your quick paragraph of the summary of what you got. Okay.
Let's scroll down and look at that, because Austin used that summary tool he likes the pricing. He says it's good.
Yeah, but remember, we will not be there forever. So
that's right.
This will go away. This will go away as soon as we go on a featured page. After that, you can count the time. We have 1 month or 2 months. I think we have after that. This is it. We're gonna go away. After that, definitely the lifetime deal will be closed forever. I'm serious about that. So lifetime deal will be closed, and we will only we will have subscriptions.
So the lifetime deal is going to die. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So, but the summary thing, I love that functionality because I like it for use as a meta description. Now, if you scroll down, you can see he ran the summary on this article that he wrote.
Yeah.
And it's pretty slick. So, so it's at the very end. Didn't he put it at the very end there? Or where did he do it? Oh, there it is. The Blogly's AI paraphraser. And so.
But this one is a paraphraser. Paraphraser summary is slightly different. Paraphraser is helps you to come up with different ways.
Excuse me, I did that wrong.
My
bad. Yes. I was thinking summary, not paraphraser. Oh, well. That's a cool feature too, though. Both of them.
Okay, now what he's saying is also the Blogly portfolio hosting marketplace don't make much sense. Okay, now I get it, because he is now seeing just his view of this publishing on WordPress, and here's my blog website, and this is it. He's suggesting focus just on the bloggers like me, and that just make this platform just for us, and that will be enough to grow and remove the all other stuff. Like, yeah, I understand it's hard to compete on a marketplace. It's just really hard. I get it. So right now it's just a marketplace. It sits like host down, is dead, because it's not really dead. It's just not there yet, and I explain the reason. But
right,
once we move on with the next feature that we will move, like team management. For team management, the natural thing will come once I have a team that I need to write it, and I need to somebody need to do the work. So the buying and selling will kick in. You have
Right.
to purchase someone else's services. Somebody need to sell their services. Here is now your portfolio will be handy. So how else you can tell about what you can do to someone than when you try to bid for the job? So do I want to create also the job market? Yes, Blogly is a content management platform, content writing platform, but without the marketplace, I think it's a headless. So it just helps you to write, but next, where the people gonna go? Let's say people are freelancers. They write for someone. They generate the content for someone. In order for us to get this someone, we want to go one more extra step and saying, okay, this content could be easily transitioned to someone. Just take the file, whatever you build, and now you take your content, and now instead of the uploading someone else's website, now we're saying, okay, we take this content and move it to someone else when someone else buying it. So we make these transactions easier. So for us, we say we can attract the people. Let's say if you have a Blogly account and you creating your content, show it to your client and tell that they're gonna save tremendous amount of time of formatting. That's a big bonus for you. You could sell your content a lot faster and a lot easier. You make money faster. You bring more clients. What else you can? I mean, how you can beat that?
Yeah, and you can show. People are thinking, well, what will that content look like? It'll look exactly like.
Yeah, you're gonna look
this
exactly
article
like
we're
you
reading.
produce. You generate the content which is readable, which is good to look at. It's a pleasant content. It's fully done. I don't even need to spend a minute on that. If I'm a buyer, I buy the content, I see it, I like it. Now, once I click it, it's purchased. And now, next step, I click one more button, submit to my WordPress. Done. It's there. Where else you could see this kind of a transition from your hand to the hand of buyer and to become a blog post on a website? Now,
Right.
can anybody beat 30 seconds?
I don't know. Depends
So
on.
this takes about 30
Probably
seconds.
not.
I doubt.
Not now. So yeah.
There is no one around now, at least now there, who can beat this timing. So if I generate the content, create the content, from the time I offer the content, someone likes it, click the button, and then next clicks the second button and they submit it. Boom, the content is there on their website. There is no other tools for that exist today. And we are there right now. We want to take that spot. And I think this is a widely open right now for us to take over and go ahead and expedite as much as possible. One of them is a content portfolio, the key to that, because we're gonna develop the relationship between buyer and seller, show what can be done. Here is the content. Now this content can be purchased and sold and sold and bought and published.
Cool. Well, we're running long here on this, and I'm getting signals that it's time to eat.
All right. Thank you, Tom, for helping me to go through this. I think we covered this, but again,
early, I would suggest that people go and read Mr. Carroll's article. I hope it's not two people, Austin and Carroll. I'm assuming it's Austin Carroll, but that's a dangerous thing. Very well written, very even-handed, and it was interesting. I really like your openness. I hate using the word transparency because it is just so badly abused, but that's what it is. You tell people what you're doing, what you believe, and the product is the better for it. So
yeah, we're trying to do our best. I mean, even though they sound like really beat up phrase. I hate those beat up phrase, but we're truly trying to get our best done for this. Am I passionate? Yeah. I'm breathing sleep with this app. I wake up in 3 in the morning. I'm thinking about what should be there. I'm thinking what should be there, what should be removed out of there. This is important to me because make it so simple. And if you have any suggestion to remove something, let me know and I will remove it. If we think this is a useless function.
So you're not talking to me, you're talking to the viewers here that if there's something that they
Yeah, if you
Think
tell
is
something is really not needed there, I can consider removing it.
right. The other thing I fall back on is the model of saying, okay, I don't need it now. I'll close with a story. When I saw an ad as a child. We were on a family vacation driving through St. Louis, and
Uh-huh.
there's this giant billboard by this giant cemetery, and it says, "'Tis better to have and not need than to need and not have." So that's the way I look at the functionality that you've built in. Give somebody the ability to turn it off, but for that time when they need it, they can turn it back on. So
Yeah.
it works for selling cemetery plots.
Oh, no. Bad comparison. Bad comparison.
No, that was what the billboard was for. They were selling cemetery plots. So that's a long time ago, but it stuck with me all these years. So, but yeah, I mean, and that's great because you do offer people the ability to provide feedback and you act on it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Tom, thank you very much. And I've been too long, so we got over an hour, but that's okay. I think we
people
can.
can you put an intermission in there and let them go get popcorn?
You know what? I can do part 1, part 2.
There you go. All right, Gennady. Well, you have a great evening.
Okay,
And
thank
we'll
you.
talk